Can't hear the phone. Definitely here. What is he? That's Kent's ringtone. Yeah. That's what my alarm. I know what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, I've been having to eat them. So I interviewed twice. Yeah. Good work. No. The filter? Okay, we're in Stockholm. No, yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Scott, the clock's not counting down.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Who do we have on right now? We've got James the astrophotographer, Mike Wiesner. It's snowing, snowy southern Arizona. Michael Whitaker says, good evening, everybody. Cameron Gillis says, hello from Seattle. And the Richard Grace, the Astro Beard, says, hello. I know that he's excited about that new 8-inch Explore Scientific that he's ordering. That's cool. Eduardo Simone, good afternoon, all. Happy Monday. Can't tell Scott the timer's not running. You're supposed to count down by yourself, Mike. Yeah.
I looked up and it was still 4:58, and I went, "Wait a minute! It's been 3 minutes."
We're frozen in time, you know.
Actually,
Frozen in time. It's like we hit the event horizon or something.
we're moving at the speed of light.
That's
Time
right.
does not exist anymore.
Uh-oh, broadcasting malfunction. That's right. It was a small one, guys. Hope everybody had a good day. This is Norm Hughes. Eduardo says they called a timeout. That's right. Let's see.
Looks like Andrew Troop is up late. It's what, almost midnight in Munich, isn't it?
Is it?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Hey, he's an astronomer.
Oh, it's 11:06. It's
Would like
yeah,
to
it's 11
share if
o'clock.
You
11
guys are
p.m.
releasing a 12-inch full tube Dob this year. Yes, we will. You're talking about a solid tube. Yes, we will. We are. We have them on order, anyways, and so maybe a little while before we have them. But yes, should see it this year. Book says, you guys hear the scientists saying we could have a mega space station around an asteroid in 15 years? No, but that would be cool.
We'll be lucky to be at the moon in 15 years.
You think?
Oh, I think we will. I think we'll make it to this decade. Will we make it in 2024? It'd be awesome if we did, but although don't put it past Elon Musk.
Before. We did it in 6 years from scratch, okay? So we didn't have a rocket that could reach the moon before we do now. You know, so Orion space capsule's done. Now the lander, that's a different deal. Can we get that done in time? Andrew Troop, any feeling on release date and pricing? Release date, no. But I do think sometime during the summer. What date in the summer, I'm not sure. We will be putting up information probably in the next month or so for pricing. So today what we're going to be talking about is astronomy outreach that you can do online or during a pandemic by yourself or with a club. So both have been involved in these kinds of things for a little while. So it'll be an interesting conversation. We'll look forward to hearing your ideas too.
Hey, Scott, you're sharing your whole desktop. Hey, Scott, you're sharing your desktop.
Oh, am I? All right. Let's see if this does better.
There you go.
Keystrokes are louder though. Yeah, the video's really low.
I didn't sound like that. Got plenty of those. So, anything. Yeah, I think.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
And you see their dune buggy tracks.
This is from the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. Sorry about the low audio on that. But this is, of course, Scott Roberts and Kent Marts. Kent's still at with his Saturn V and his lunar lander in the background there.
We're almost.
You guys had a. What's that, Kent?
We're almost finished working on it. We're going to move to the
Are
space
you
shuttle here.
rewiring it or something so that they
wiring-
can catch up? Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting ready. We're getting new plumbing on the Saturn V, and we're going to rewire the Apollo lander with a modern computer system. I think we're gonna probably go with Mac Minis. Is probably what we're going with, and we're going to start working on the space shuttle here in a few days.
Excellent.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So, are you going with them or?
We're going to work on it right now. We shall see. We're trying to get it. We're trying to get it back into flying shape.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. have a question here before we get started. We're going to have a conversation about educational outreach in astronomy during this pandemic. But Cameron has a question. He says, which ES-APO aperture would be required in Earth's orbit to clearly resolve the U.S. flag on the moon? In Earth's orbit? Geez, I
don't think it can. I don't think you can. It's so far away, the angular distance.
They weren't able to do it with Hubble. I mean, they could see like a little tiny area where the lander was, but getting the flag,
Yeah.
It would probably take a very large instrument, even in high Earth orbit to do something like that, I would think. And Hubble is like 90 inches aperture, something like that. So we're talking big.
Yeah. It's just too far away. The distance is, the angular distance is so small that the camera resolution would have to be so immense that it's just not going to happen.
I remember when I first joined up with Mead Instruments, I went to the Riverside Telescope Makers Conference in Big Bear, California. It was my first time to go with them, and this guy comes up. I don't know why people say this kind of stuff sometimes, but anyways, this guy was talking about how he observes moon trash, and I had never heard the term before. Moon trash, what's that? And so I had him explain. He says, well, the stuff they left, from the landings and stuff like that. That's what I like to observe. And I was just, I already knew you couldn't see that stuff. And, so I was like, I stayed polite. I didn't tell him, I didn't call him out or anything like that. But it was, people say that kind of stuff sometimes.
Interesting conversation.
Very interesting.
I still think that we should try and get a laser and see if we can get hit the
reflectors on.
Yeah,
on the moon.
Correct. We ought to do that sometime.
Possible. I don't know.
It takes a serious laser to do it.
Yeah, they were using. I think they were using the 108-inch at McDonald to do it with.
Yeah.
Okay, they were making a collimated beam of light to get out there.
I think I've said this before, that I think that an interesting part of the lunar a lunar mission would be to actually have a light bright enough to be seen from Earth, that they could flash Morse code or something, and as an effort to prove that yes, we really are up there. That.
Well, you just saw the LRO. I mean,
it's
pictures of it.
It's a deep fake. That's all a deep fake. Yep, it's all a deep fake.
Well, then you can deep fake anything, right?
Soundstage in California.
You could
Stanley Kubrick and all that.
The laser, the Morse code, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, but I still think it'd be cool to be looking at the moon and see a light go off.
Right.
That spells.
So
we're here.
Daily Thick says, is there any space junk orbiting the moon? Not that I'm aware of. Of course, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter is still orbiting the moon. There may be some stuff left over, but most of the space junk is going around the Earth itself. And I know that we track things, I think, down to the size of a softball, something like that. And maybe better than that. That was several years ago that they were saying, they could track something that small up there. But there's a ton of debris. You can imagine exploded, bolts, paint flecks, boosters. There's still stuff orbiting Earth from, I think, the Apollo missions.
I saw that there was somebody recovered one of the early satellite pieces that had been in orbit, and they lost track of it, and an amateur astronomer found it again. So they recovered.
Cool.
It was like a booster stage or something. And then there was, I believe it was the Chinese, maybe 7 or 8 years ago or more,
Uh-huh.
had intentionally accidentally collided two satellites that created tens of thousands of pieces of debris.
Oh, great.
That because and it just took. I saw an animation of how each piece moved, and it took like 5 days, and it basically encircled the whole globe, from that collision. And so it's just
Crazy.
it's going to be a problem. The space shuttle flew backwards in orbit with the engines pointed in the direction it was going, or does, because that was protection against space debris. So if something hit, it would hit the rear of the shuttle that wasn't as vital for reentry. Although obviously, if it pokes a hole in there,
Yeah.
we found out what happens.
Maybe that was the least dangerous, have a very dangerous situation.
Right. That was it was the least dangerous of something that would still probably be a calamity if it happened. Yeah.
Right.
So we saw what 10-inch piece of very light foam did to
Wow.
which not a
Yeah, Norm Hughes says
yeah.
there, he was looking up on Wikipedia, says it's estimated to be over 128 million pieces of debris, smaller than 1 centimeter. 900,000 pieces of debris from 1 to 10 centimeters. Yeah, we need to go clean that stuff up. So there may be some of the early jobs up there might be space janitors to clean up. Our near Earth, near Earth orbital areas. So. Or somehow bring it in, or I have no idea how we do it, but I'm sure somebody can come up with an idea.
The big pieces, send a CubeSat up to just attach to it, and then fire a thruster and just send it off into space. Either bring it down or just send it off into oblivion.
Maybe it's better to bring it down into our atmosphere and burn it up.
Ultimately, it's you could have the Star Trek V'ger sort of thing where, something comes back to meet its maker.
Yeah. So anyhow, Kent, the thing I wanted to discuss with you today. Normally, we would have a show with Jerry Hubble, but he wasn't feeling that well today, so we're doing a show to fill in for that. But I did want to talk to Kent about astronomy outreach during a pandemic. Now, Kent is not only works has worked in our customer service, and now he's managing our specialty dealer sales and stuff. But he's been involved in amateur astronomy for a long time. He's president of the Sugar Creek Astronomical Society. He is involved with NWA.Space, where they're trying to build a $60 million astronomy observatory and planetarium science museum here in Northwest Arkansas. You've done a lot of educational outreach programs with NWA Space, with Sugar Creek, and then COVID hit. So one way that obviously one of the ways that we do our outreach is through live streaming, like programs like this and the Global Star Party. But we've seen some other things too. What do you think have been some of the more successful things? And I'm curious if Sugar Creek or NWA Space have done anything during this pandemic to do educational outreach.
We have a couple of the both NWA Space members, board members, and people, and Sugar Creek members have done some virtual classrooms with scout troops through Zoom, and done some things like that. The Old Timers subgroup continues to meet. Most of them live in Bella Vista and Bentonville, and they continue to do star parties at 15, 20 feet apart. Always wear masks. That's Paul and Kathy and folks like that, and continue to do that. So at least they're getting some social interaction. I and Tyler and a couple other customer service guys did a Star Party music festival back in the fall.
I
That
remember.
we came up with a plan to make everybody or have everybody stay in family units or social groups, and then come up to the eyepiece one at a time. And then we wiped the eyepiece down. We were using some inexpensive eyepieces. Wiped the eyepieces down with rubbing alcohol and would not let them touch it. I focused it, and I can focus very close to batting off perfect, which has been debated before until they put a batting off mask off and on it and decided that, well, yeah, maybe can do that. So so I can get close to batting off perfect, and then it may be out of focus for a lot of people, but at least we wouldn't let them touch the telescope. Next time, I probably would let people try and focus it. Maybe not, hard to say, but I think it's critical to have a jug of alcohol, preferably rubbing. Although 151 would probably do it. You have a swig and then wipe down the telescope with the rag. And we did have a last week. Somebody suggests using a piece of plexiglass sheet, and I don't know if y'all, yeah. And I can share my screen and show this. I thought this. I haven't ordered any yet, but I thought this was a interesting item.
Yeah, he was putting it like on a popsicle stick,
And that,
where you would
right.
hold the plexiglass sheet right up to your eye.
And he said it did not degrade the viewing at all. So there it is. I'm sharing my screen. That's the item. This is off Amazon. It's just 4x6 sheet, and he cut it in half with shears. So he had two pieces, and he literally bought popsicle sticks and taped it or glued it to the popsicle stick. And he said they're good for 2 or 3 uses. That's an interesting way of trying it. And he said it did not degrade the output at all, or the visual throughput at all. So there's that item right there. So it's a PETG, or what does it say? I'll just copy this in here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'll send it.
I'll put this in the chat function on Facebook.
I'll get it. Thank you.
There we go. There's the link to, or the title of it, so you can buy it from there. So anyway, that's an interesting way of doing it. I know Rick Marshall, the past president of the Sugar Creek Club, has as well been. I can't make my screen stop sharing. There it is.
Oh, here, I can do it.
I got it. There we go. It wasn't showing up. Okay. The screen. He's done some VAA, visual assisted astronomy, where he's hooks up a camera to the eyepiece.
Electronically assisted. Yeah.
Right. And so he's done some Facebook broadcasts and had a pretty good crowd show up.
Sure.
A couple of times. He's talked about going out and doing setting up a projector on it on a white wall, or a movie screen or a white sheet. I don't think he's done it yet, but he's talked about doing that as well. So that's another method of doing this. Just
we've seen some really cool stuff. Marcello Souza did that drive-in astronomy event, where they gave lectures, and they were able to project lectures up on a big wall on the side of a mall.
Draws a crowd. Jupiter and Saturn draw a crowd.
And
moon.
They did do some social distancing, I think actual visual observations there during this drive-in event. Obviously, any of this stuff where you're getting close to people, or somehow, where you might rub elbows, you definitely need to take extreme caution, extreme care, and bring out sanitizer, wear masks, I took a flight, over the holiday period to go meet with some family, and So I'm wearing like a plastic solid shield across my face, N95 mask, because I was getting on an airplane, and I wanted to, and going through an airport, so you don't know what you might run into in that regard, but it's always good. Norm says, I still think you can use a spray bottle and alcohol to spray and wipe between users. Alcohol will kill COVID. Strongest alcohol you can find, the better.
Right.
That's true. That's certainly something to think about here.
I think that, do I think we're going to have public star parties on a wide scale basis this year? I think it's probably too soon, maybe this fall, depending on what happens, but it's what's your comfort level and what's the comfort level of the people who are going to come up. You can get COVID anywhere. How do you prove where you got it? I think that's a big fear of a lot of people is getting sued for giving somebody COVID. And at the end of the day, I really don't. It's like when I'm at the baseball, I umpire a lot of baseball, and was on the Bentonville Youth Baseball Board for over 20 years. When I was at the park, I always said, nobody's going to die on my watch from a lightning strike. I was always very cautious about that. And I made some parents very mad at me. And it's like, well, okay, but nobody's going to die on my watch, including you. We're going to be out of the park before that storm gets here. And maybe I was a little overly cautious, but that one time you're not overly cautious is the time that you end up on the news, being a super spreader event, or 6 people got killed because of a lightning strike in a ballpark. It's one of those hard decisions you have to make. I really enjoy doing sidewalk astronomy. We have a state park where we have a program and go, but I really enjoy going down on the main street coming off of the University of Arkansas, in the entertainment district next to the University of Arkansas, under street lights and showing people the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn. I really get a kick out of that. And I miss doing that. And so going to where the people are and just plunking down a Dobsonian telescope or, a FirstLight, 102 millimeter, 121,000 focal length telescope, that draws a crowd. And, you don't have to have a big fancy telescope. Now, if you show up with a 16-inch truss tube Dob or a 16-inch Obsession or something, a big Meade light bridge, yeah, absolutely, you're going to draw a crowd with those telescopes. But just any telescope works. And, you just figure out go where the people are, and you're going to have people look through your telescope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Now, one of the things that a lot of the astronomy clubs, we've seen a couple of things. One is the Nebraska Star Party, for example. Okay, Nebraska Star Party organizers called off the official Nebraska Star Party, but people still on their own went and socially distanced. Now, what they recommended is if if you had your own RV and you had your own bathroom facilities in your RV, then you were fine. The problem out where Nebraska Star Party is held is a super dark sky site. They do have bathrooms out there, but the Park Service had closed those bathrooms because of COVID, and so there wasn't a situation where you could tent camp, which a lot of people like to do at Nebraska Star Party. Nevertheless, I did hear that they had some successful stargazing out there, and that's kind of what I've been seeing around the country with different clubs and stuff like that. The Winter Star Party contacted us and asked us, since they were canceling the event, if we would help them live stream their program. And so we've agreed to that. So we will be simulcasting Winter Star Party. And it's kind of cool because they'll be showing lectures from people like Tippy Dioria, who's the founder of Winter Star Party, who's no longer with us. There's a few people that they will be showing in that regard. Michael Reynolds. These guys are all dear friends of mine that are no longer around. But and then they've got, of course, people that will be joining them. For the current Star Party event, and so it should be all very interesting. We're putting all that together now. So that's one of the things that we can look forward to. The Northeast Astronomy Forum probably will be a virtual type of event as well, I would think. Unless, here's the catch, whether, will enough vaccines will be out there in time for us to feel easy enough to travel, and I suspect that until, I'm here in Arkansas, for example, I'm not supposed to be able to get mine until April, okay, and then they say it would take some weeks before the, that vaccine is effective, so I think before I go out there and start glad handing a bunch of people and meeting them in person, that I should be at the very least vaccinated. So, that is what we're all looking forward to at this time. But I really do believe we've learned so many cool things about doing educational outreach in astronomy online. Through broadcasting like this, through Zoom, whether you're simulcasting, broadcasting to one platform, or you're just having a private Zoom meeting with a group. You can still interact and share your knowledge. You can share technique, and if you have cameras for your telescope, you can share the view. So those are all positive things that we've learned. And I think, once we can get back in person in real life again, face to face, that we should mix real life, hand to hand, whatever, eyeball to the telescope type of programs with, simulcasting and getting the reaction of people, letting people listen in on some of the amazing talks that go on at Star Parties. We've done a lot of that already. So
the hard part I see is coming up. I mean, you've got this down because you've mastered the restream system and the ability to broadcast on the platforms. It may be an idea that we do some tutorials on how to multi-stream this stuff, because my club, I don't have the ability to do it through anything I have, but maybe we need to be thinking about facilitating these ideas for clubs who don't have the resources.
There's some resources now through the Night Sky Network. There's a whole PDF on how to do a lot of this. I have offered to, as I interact with club presidents and stuff like that, I've offered to show people how to do it. And Kent, you're as close as can be to me, so right, yeah. You can see how I do it.
Yeah.
But it does take a little bit of equipment. I have a very modest setup. My setup is, I've got one webcam here. I have a blue microphone here. I use a Mac, okay, which is a good system. It's powerful enough for broadcasting. So are a lot of computers today. On top of the Mac, I use a platform called Ecamm Live. I'll put down I think it's just ecammlive.com as the URL for that platform. I then connect so I can simulcast to Restream.io, and I have the pro version of that. I have a pro version of Ecamm Live, and I have a pro version of Zoom. And so Zoom with the pro version allows you to take a stream key from Ecamm Live or from Restream, and this is after you've hooked up all your social media sites where you can do live broadcasting. and then you take that stream key and you put it into Zoom, and from there, and Zoom also does something that's really kind of cool with Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live has a thing called a virtual camera. Okay, so whatever's on the screen of, whatever's on the screen of my,
Hi guys, Tyler here with Explore Scientific.
Great babe.
whatever's on the screen, whatever I switch to, okay, as far as the scene goes, okay, that's being done on Ecamm Live. Then the simulcast is being done through Restream, and the live part of it is through Zoom using the stream key itself. And so what you have to do is you have to hook it all up, initially make a lot of mistakes like I did, and just keep doing it. So I do it every day, I do it every day.
That's the key. You can't expect to do this once a month and make it look anywhere close to functionally professional.
Yeah.
This is something, if you're going to do it, you have to do it over and over and over again.
If you wanted not to have live and have guests on and switching from this and that and all the rest of it, you could record everything in video, okay? And you can put your videos into Ecamm Live. And if you didn't want to have to learn how to do simulcasting, you could just use your Facebook or YouTube account, okay, and go straight from Ecamm. You would be able to change these scenes and broadcast it to one of your social media platforms, and that would be like a live stream coming out, or you could just not even do that, but just record something and upload it to Facebook or YouTube, and that would do a lot of the job of outreach if you have a program planned out. Okay, but I am very happy to help walk any of the technical people in your club or organization, or even if it's a private deal. Happy to walk you through that and give you my insight of the pitfalls and things like that. But there is also freeware out there that will allow you to do broadcasting, like OBS software is a great professional level, I think, broadcasting software that's open source and free. So. And way better than it was when I first started playing with it. But it's just it's just learning a couple of new techniques, and you really use the power of the internet to get your word out there.
Hey, let's show that video you just showed of Tyler. Make a world debut.
World debut. It's already been debuted, and I will show it. Well, here we go. Let's go. Check it out.
Hi guys, Tyler here with Explore Scientific. Today we're going to talk about and go over our 2-room pop-up observatory tent. If you hang out, and we're going to go over some specifications on what's included with this 2-man pop-up tent, along with what's it made out of, what can you use it as far as applications for, and watch me set it up one-handed. That's right, I said one-handed. Hopefully I can do this. I had a lot of practice, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. I'm going to set it up one-handed. Wish me luck. Oh. There's that. Pull it back a little bit. There's the middle. Nope, don't do it. Ta-da! Hang on, I'm getting there. One-handed. Ish. Now, we do know that we can get it up one-handed. Now, if you unfortunately need help, don't Don't hurt to call your buddy or anything else. Let me kick this over a little bit for you. Get everything all nice in view. Now what this comes with, let me try a little more here. Now, what this initially comes with, it is again a two-room pop-up tent. You have the initial observatory portion of the tent. Now what the observatory tent can be used for is, say you want to put a computer in here, because you have two open doors, and I'll do those here in a second. You can put a table in here with a computer, with a chair, and or a red light, just depending on what you want. We have a nice, beautiful logo right here in front, so you know where you bought it from. Now, as far as the doors, they're all double-sided zippers, inside and out, so you can have easy access. And another beautiful part is you can roll it up. And tie it from the other side as well, so it can get out of your way. But what's great mainly about this two-man pop-up observatory tent is you have the capability of using this in the wind, because it is wind resistant. It is also, I didn't want to stay, let's try it again, rainproof, which is a wonderful factor in any astronomy community, because you always wonder when you set up for any type of astrophotography, visual, or anything for outreach, you wonder about the weather. How will the weather dictate and what you can do? But with this beautiful product by Explorer Scientific, you have the capability of setting up and not having to worry about any weather, shape, or form. Unless it's a massive hurricane, then I wouldn't advise using it. Dagnabbit. But you do have to make sure you roll this up kind of tightly.
Hey, this Steve Ward from the guy, Rick, but the tool we can
Grab it. And then you can just simply tie a little. I'm just going to do a single knot. I don't need to do crazy. Reach in here on the other side of the door. Grab the other drawstring and pull this. Tie it as well. Now, we have both doors open. I'll move it around a little bit so you can see where the doors are located on this design. What this is made out of is 100% blackout nylon. And what I mean by 100% blackout nylon, I can literally put a flashlight on this side. You will not see any stray or anything on the other. So it's great and perfect for either your astrophotography in your neighborhood, local park, or any outreach community that you have. It will block out a lot of light pollution. And the next benefit is that it's 6 feet tall. That's right, 6 feet tall. It's almost tall as me. I'm 6'2" on a good day, just depends. But it's a 5x5 square. The next great thing is the other room for your mount and telescope, so you can do either your astrophotography and or visual observing. Same basic principle, comes out. I know I didn't do this one-handed, and I do apologize. And that's set up. Now with our pop-up two-room observatory tent, there's Velcro on this side as well as on the other side, and Velcro here and Velcro here to attach it. And we'll get to that on how it's used when I want to put my mount in here. Just hang on, there we go. I'm going to kick this out a little bit so y'all can get a nice good view, so I can attach it to the Velcro. And we got that side. Now I'm going to go to this side. Wait a minute, I got to put my telescope in here. I completely forgot. Silly me. So what you can do, you don't have to do it this way, but you can open it up to where you can get whatever. I mean, it's a 5x5 square. You can get a whole lot of stuff in there. You can actually double it up. That's right, you heard me correct. You can double it up and make it a 10x10 room. If you have another fellow astrophotographer or visual observer that bought one, just like you can actually double them up and put one room, that's a 2-man entryway on one side, and double up the actual dividers together and create a massive 10x10 room. You know how many telescopes you can put in a 10x10 room? It's crazy. It's a lot of stuff. But yes, we did try it, and pictures will be uploaded to show you that it can be done. Got it right here. Now I can show you what to do. So as you know, you can fold these, but we're going to fold it this way so I can have easy access. Get the mount in for my observatory night. So I'm going to face it towards you because where I'm pointing, that's north. And then we just simply come around this way and close it up. That's it. With that simple ease of use, one man can do it. Is it beneficial to have more than one? Sure, always is, but every once in a while when you want to go to a dark site, your buddy can't come with you. So you got to be able to do it by yourself if need be. Now, some key points on this is it does come with a tarp. The tarp does go over the whole tent if you need to protect for weather, inclement weather, dust shower, rain shower, or possible wind. It can go across the whole tent, but I would recommend throwing it over the observatory side. That way, you can block out any stray light. You can hang a little red light somewhere, how way you want to do it, so you can see your computer screen and not be blinded by that. And you can shut the inside door so that can be completely blocked off from any type of stray light from your possible computer screen. It does have anchor points down at the bottom, and each corner is an anchor point that comes with anchors. That's right, this will come with a complete set of anchors and rope for guideline to make sure it's a nice, taut observatory pop-up tent. So that's what helps with either the wind and possible, more or less, it just helps with wind. It keeps it from shifting back and forth, but it has enough give that it won't go crazy like an actual tent does. I would also recommend, just to save the actual bottom end of your wonderful pop-up two-room observatory tent, is either put AstroTurf at the bottom or some type of carpet felt, just so it has something to grab a hold of when you are setting it up. If you're going to use the grass, it's okay. You can use the tarp. Tarp's perfectly fine. They're cheap and affordable. AstroTurf's better. You won't have as much flexure. Carpet's also good. That way you keep your feet warm at night. But now, the wonderful part is, say I'm done observing. I'm done with the astrophotography. I'm closing up shop. Now I get to take it all apart. And I'm going to try to use one arm again. I'm definitely going to fold it up with one arm for sure. So here we go. Don't mind me, I'm going to take off my neck gaiter because it's rather warm with it. So, I'm going to literally undo the Velcro here. Fold it. Goes that way. Get my mount out of the way. Undo this side. And that folds that way. We'll get to folding here in a second. We'll save that for last. We're going to drop our doors all the way. There and there. And we'll just zip it up. Now the fun part. Now we get to put it away. Or, if you wanted to, you can leave it up for the night. It is perfectly, I would say it's perfectly fine to use, depending on the weather conditions of what you're having throughout the night. You can leave it alone and let any type of software control it from this point and not have to worry about anything. Because if you use the cover, every equipment that you have, computer-wise, will be covered out of dew and any type of moisture getting in. And I got to post it on the bottom of my foot because of previous shows before me. So now, what's a good way to fold this up, you ask? So I always grab a corner here, and I literally will just pick it straight up, let it fall. Then I will grab another corner and fold it over. I'm still doing this with one arm. I'll come back here so y'all can get a nice view. So now I got it to this point. With one arm or two, you literally, so if you're I'll do one with one arm and the other with two. So you'll grab here, come all the way to this corner, drop down. Here's the fun part. Now I'm going to tuck and roll. You'll see here in a second what I mean. So I tuck this in, and we already got one side wanting to flop up. Now I'm going to use my head and body to kind of grab it, bring this over, and this back end's already wanting to come up by this point. So we tuck. Yeah, hang on. There. I know I had to use a little bit of my arm. I'm sorry. I failed you all. I apologize. One arm, folding it up. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it with two. This makes it a little easier for me. Sometimes. We'll see. We always want to make sure that when we do fold it up, see how it's got the split? You can't see all the way to the arch. This is not the best way. Can it be done? Yes. But I always find it easier if I can see the whole back. So I'll grab both ends, fold it like a taco, and it's already wanting to just give anyway. That's it. See how easy that is? So ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2-room pop-up observatory tent by Explore Scientific. I hope you guys have clear skies. Keep looking up.
So there we go.
One of the fifth arms. Yeah. It's fun to watch him try and do that. You know, and he's a rather large man and he's not real flexible.
Yeah. I was using my knees more than he was, you know, when I was doing it. But I can definitely do it with one hand.
So you know, there's been
The main thing is that it's really quick to set up and tear down. You know, and he was saying, yeah, you leave it up for the whole night. I would leave it up all week, you know, if I was at like a Winter Star Party or, you know, one of these other star parties that runs on for a few days, you know.
Yeah.
So
And it comes with stakes and guy wires for the tent and for the tarp. You know, a heavy rain, I'm not sure the tarp would be.
a heavy rain.
If it's going to be heavy rain,
I'd bag the telescopes. I'd probably
Yes.
bag the telescopes. I might put the tarp over it. It's got ropes too, where you can you know,
Get it pretty taut.
But you know, if the wind's blowing and you know you got some really crazy weather, that can come up. Okay, especially at you know, Winter Star Party is one of these places where wind can really blow. Okie, Texas is another one.
Nebraska Star Party.
Right. I was at although the Riverside Telescope Makers Conference is no longer a star party, unfortunately, we did have a weekend where they recorded 100-mile-an-hour straight winds. Okay. It was crazy. Destroyed all of the vendors' tents. And we're talking about vendors' tents that had, you know, like 2-inch diameter poles holding it up. We're talking almost carnival level tents, okay, that got destroyed during this thing. But for the most part, we don't.
Actually, I do tell them what I want. I tell them that I don't want anything.
Yeah. Hang on, let me cover.
There you go. Little conversation going on back where Ken is. But anyhow, you know, we're real excited. I mean, we showed you this because we were very excited about the observatory tent coming, and I know that lots of you have ordered them. I think the last thing I really wanted to talk about, tomorrow we will have our 30th Global Star Party. So, speaking of outreach, this is something where the people who have joined us, of course, volunteered to be on with us. And we've had some amazing astrophotographers. We've had amazing lecturers. We have amazing lecturers still coming up for the 30th Global Star Party as well. Of course, David Levy will be with us. Dave Eicher will be with us. I know Libby and the Stars will be with us. I'm expecting more to join in as well. Chuck Allen, who gave a great talk. He's with the Astronomical League. Gave a great talk on the extremes of astronomy, or the extremes of the universe, which was really cool. We will host that tomorrow night, and because it's the 30th Global Star Party, we're going to give away some 30mm eyepieces as door prizes. So I think that you might want to participate in that. It should be really, really cool. What else can I tell you about that? Oh, something new. We are going to, for the final hour, maybe that's what I call that segment, will be the final hour. We will give out on the air the login information to go into our waiting room if you'd like to participate yourself. So if you're watching this, you haven't been on Global Star Party yet, you've seen what we do, you have something you want to present, whether it's a view through your telescope, you want to talk about your outreach, that kind of thing. We're going to open this up to the public. We're going to announce on the air how to join. Kent will check your audio levels and your video levels. But this is, what we're not looking for is for a hangout place where you just kind of hang out. You do need to participate. So pretend that that we have a TED Talk going on, and if you want to join, it's open mic, okay? You can join us and talk about some subject to do with astronomy, okay? So it can be the education side of it, it could be the astrophotography side of it, it could be the aesthetics of it, the beauty of it, it'd be really cool to have more people join in. And so we will, we'll be looking forward to any of you joining us that regularly watch this show, or if you know someone that you think should be on Global Star Party, look for our announcement of the login information that we'll announce about, what did we say, Kent? 10 o'clock, 9:30? Yeah, 9:30 p.m. Yeah, I can read his lips. 9:30 p.m. Central, we're going to announce for the final hour of Global Star Party so that you can join in. Once you get your sound check and video check and you're properly vetted, then Kent will give you the login credentials to get in on the live program. So it'll be a lot of fun, and you can help us do outreach to people all over the world. So until tomorrow, we will be seeing you, and Kent and I'll say it for him. We want you to keep looking up, and thanks for watching this program today. And Jerry, if you're watching, hoping you're feeling a little better. Take care, man.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Hi guys, Tyler here with Explore Scientific.
We already heard you, Tyler.